Ever tried turning it over to go full screen?
I did, but it actually
It
just
didn't work.
it just compressed the screen. It goes.
It didn't really work.
It didn't give you anything.
Right.
Like here it is. It's but when I saw the video, it was actually just a shot again.
So yeah, that'd be full screen for YouTube. Hold on, no, not straight. Emails. There you go. We test the mic.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Boker Tov, everyone. Man Chatzima Tova, good year for everyone. I discussed last night that there are various interpretations as to Vayelech Moshe. Where did he go? What did he want to do here? So today I want to deal with it from a different angle completely. The Mefarshim point out to us that one of the great problems in life generally is that of succession, especially succession to very successful people. We find it that if a company, for instance, a corporation, a business, had a very successful founder and built it into an empire, oftentimes it is very hard to find a suitable successor when that person is no longer around, because it is not necessarily an inherited trait, and generations change, circumstances change. So this becomes a constant problem in all commercial ventures as to how the company, so to speak, can continue, but with a different person at its head or in charge of it. The same thing is true in family. Chazal already noted the fact that the descendants of great people are not necessarily great people. So here the Torah presents us with this first, so to speak, first instance of difficult succession. We had succession before, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. But there the succession was determined openly by the Ribono Shel Olam. Ki b'Yitzchak yikor l'chazora. Because Yitzchak is the successor to Avraham. The Yaakov obtains the brachot from Yitzchak, so Yaakov becomes the successor. Here we have Moshe Rabbeinu. He says, "Ben me'ov esrim shana anochi hayom, v'hu chalod l'tzeis v'lavo." I'm not going to do it anymore. The Ribono Shel Olam told me I'm not going across the Yarden. So I'm not in charge anymore. Rashi says there, it isn't that I'm not able, it's that I'm not allowed. Einani rashoi. Heaven does not give me permission to do it. Moshe's mind, he can certainly lead them to Eretz Yisrael, and he can certainly see to it that they're well settled in the land. In fact, the Medrash teaches us that if Moshe Rabbeinu would have taken us into Eretz Yisrael, we never would have had to experience the exile from the land of Israel. So great was his leadership capabilities, and so did it extend over all generations. But Moshe says it's not going to happen. Now Moshe has sons, Gershom and Eliezer. Every father wants that his children should continue the legacy, the business, the idea, the family, whatever. That's a natural feeling. Many times, if not most of the time, the children are not equal to the task. They're different. Eliezer is Eliezer, and Gershom is Gershom. They're not Moshe. So the Medrash has Moshe proposing this idea of succession through his children. And that the Lord tells him that's not going to happen. Instead, Kachas Yoshua, we're going to take Yoshua, and you're going to make him the head, the successor. We find that by Shmuel Hanavi, that Shmuel says, Ushnei bonai imochem. When he is crowning Shaul to be the king, and he gives the long speech about the inherent problems of absolute monarchy and how it takes really, the king has to be a tzaddik to overcome them. So we had David, to a certain extent, we had Shlomo, we had Chizkiyahu, but most of the kings didn't do it. They were not able to. So David's grandson, Rechavam, is certainly not David HaMelech. David HaMelech united the Jewish people, established Yerushalayim. Rechavam split the Jewish people, and now you've got two kingdoms. And monarchy is a very fragile thing. So when monarchy was absolute, so it was dangerous as well. In our time, monarchy as we know it in the world generally is pretty much symbolic, without power. But you have dictatorships that are equal and greater than monarchs. And there's always the problem of succession there as well. The Soviet Union collapsed because they never found another Stalin. And we see the difficulty in democratic society of finding the right person, because the right person is never there. so to speak, the right person doesn't run for office. Those who do run for office oftentimes are not the right people. So here Moshe is faced with the problem. Chazal say that this is part of the reason why Moshe barraged heaven, so to speak, in Parshat V'et, that he's going there to Israel. There's 900 prayers to go there. So the Gemara says, what do you want to go there to Israel? You know, to eat a Jaffa orange. Why? Part of the idea, there are many ideas, but part of the idea is that Moshe sees that whoever comes is not going to be him. And Moshe is the most humble of all human beings. So therefore, Moshe has a true assessment of what the situation is. He doesn't say it out of hubris or out of arrogance. I'm so great, there's no successor to me. But he says it out of reality. He sees that there isn't. Lo kom b'Yisrael k'Moshe od. So therefore he begs God, so let me go and get them settled. And the Rebbeinu Shalom says, no, that's not how the world can work. So therefore, you have to take Yoshua, V'chaskeu, V'amtseu, strengthen him, support him. So there are many Meforshim say that Vayelech Moshe went with Yoshua to every tribe and he introduced Yoshua. And not that he introduced him, this is Yoshua bin Nun or Shea bin Nun. This is my successor. This is the one that's going to take you. You have to listen to him. You have to follow his commandments. So Moshe attempts, while he's still alive, to solve the problem of succession. He's going to make Yoshua his successor. Now, Yoshua is a combination of different ideas that the Torah told us about him. He's very hard to identify. We're reading out of all of the great men that built Klal Yisrael, it's hard to have a handle on him. We first meet him in Parshas B'Shalach, where he goes to war with Amalek. Oh, so we say Yoshua's a warrior. He's a general. That's what we need. Especially now, they're going to go to Canaan. They're going to be engaged in the long-term battles, 7 years of war. So that's the Yoshua we need. On the other hand, we were introduced to Yoshua as being the ultimate yeshiva student, masmid, devoid from the world, studying only Torah, so that when the Jewish people make the egel, he's unaware of what's going on. He tells Moshe, Kola knows, I hear, there's noise, but I don't know what's going on here. So how does that become a leader? And then The third Yoshua that we meet, that's the Yoshua by the Meraglim. Part of the description of leadership in the Tanakh is that the leader somehow is able to withstand public opinion. So we have glorified public opinion in our time because that's democracy. But how many times is public opinion wrong? If we would say, if we want to be honest, most of the time. Germans voted for Hitler. The Russians voted for the communists. The Chinese voted for Mao. I refuse to go further. In Yiddish, they used to say, Elam Gelam. The Olam, the masses are a golem. They're, we're bereft of intelligence. So the Meraglim say, he's got 10 Meraglim, and they say, look, we can't do it. So Yoshua stands up to them, Yoshua and Kolev. So now you see Yoshua as a different person. But the ego, he's not even aware they're making an ego. But Meraglim, he says wrong. Yochel Nuchal, we can do it, come on. So somehow the Chumash portrays Yoshua as a mixture of many different traits and ideas. Yoshua does not have a revelation of a burning bush that Moshe had. Moshe knows he's chosen as the leader because the Rebbeinu Shalom told him, I stand in a boy, I see it from the bush. He hears the voice that calls him Moshe, Moshe. Yoshua doesn't have any of that. Yoshua only says that Moshe says he should be the successor. Later on, Yoshua will meet a Malach when the Tanakh tells us about. But Yeshua is not supernatural. So you have to get the people to somehow subscribe to Yeshua. They have to believe in him. If they believe in Yeshua, they have no chance in Eretz Yisrael. They have to have confidence in him that Yeshua will do it for them. So Vayelech Moshe goes to strengthen Yeshua. Not only to strengthen, so it's a twofold strengthening. He's strengthening Yeshua in himself, that Yeshua should believe in himself. So you'll see in throughout the dialogue between Yeshua, it always says, Rak Chazak Ve'amot, be strong, be strong, be strong. Heaven tells Yeshua, Moshe tells Yeshua. Because if Yeshua doesn't believe in himself, there's no chance. But also he has to have that the people should believe in him. The people should think that Yeshua is the right person. And Chazal say the great compliment to Yeshua, that all of the years that Yeshua lived, and led the Jewish people. The Jewish people were Ki'ilu Moshe Chai. They didn't see Yoshua, they saw Moshe was still alive. Because that was the greatness of the leadership of Yoshua, is that he was, in his generation, able to be the leader that Moshe was in his generation. Nevertheless, Yoshua is not Moshe. Will come be Yisrael Moshe Od. Chazal say, Skenim Shavo Sador, those that survived the Dor HaMidbar, they were over 60, or they were the 15,000 that didn't die at the end. But there was a remnant of Jews that still saw Moshe. So they said, Pnei Moshe Kachamo, Pnei Yoshua Kalavona. Moshe's the sun, Yeshua is only the moon, meaning that he has only reflected light. No comparison. And that's a very difficult thing to overcome. It's very necessary to overcome, but it's very difficult. The Gemara brings for us many examples of great men who said, my father was able to do this, but I can't do it anymore. Nevertheless, the son was the leader of the generation. It was supposed to be through him. So this is a very strong lesson regarding all later generations of the Jewish people. I remember when I was a student in the yeshiva, so we had, they were all the Rabbeim were Eastern European, Lithuanian Torah geniuses. And I remember once in a moment of desperation, I said to one of the Rabbeim, I said, I'm wasting my time because I'll never be you. I can never get there. Takes me 2 days to figure out this thesis, and then on the third day I forgot it. So I had a wonderful Rabbeim who always comforted me. And he said, what do you mean? I remember he said, I don't know English. So I thought to myself, what in the world is he talking about? It took me a long time to figure it out, but I understood what he said, right? He doesn't know English, so he can't communicate. It's not his generation, so forget it. So we need different people. We need people who can speak English, he said. You can speak English, so do something. So this idea of succession of generations is one of the basic ideas in Judaism. So we're not the Gaon of Vilna, okay. We're trying to be the Gaon of Rechavia. And if you can't be Rechavias, then maybe I'm the smartest person on Ben Maimon. I don't know. You have to see yourself. You have to have others that see you that way as well. That's what Moshe is trying to do with Yoshua. That's why Chazal say, Torah tziva lonu Moshe. The Torah was given to Moshe. Kiba Moshe, Kibel Torah Misinai. Moshe is the only one that went on Sinai. None of us went there. None of us spent 40 days studying the Torah. the Sorah of Yoshua, but he passed it over to Yoshua. And the Yoshua passed it over to the Skenim, to the Shoftim, and the Skenim to the Nevi'im, and the Nevi'im to the Anshe Knesset Hagdolah, and the Anshe Knesset Hagdolah to the Tanoim, and the Tanoim to the Amoraim, and the Amoraim to the Gaonim, and the Gaonim to the Rishonim, and the Rishonim to the Achronim. So nobody is what was before, but everybody is what is. Everybody creates that chain. And that the Torah wanted to emphasize to us over and over again. So Chazal say, for instance, if you look at the Shoftim, so some of the Shoftim, Shmuel Hanovi, for instance. So Shmuel Hanovi, the Gemara, we say in Tehillim, Moshe Aaron B'Choanov, Shmuel B'Korei Shmo. Shmuel Hanovi is like Moshe and Aaron. Wow. But look at some of the Shoftim that are there. Look at Gidon. Gidon's father, the Gemara says, was a merchant that sold idols, paganism. He becomes a shofet. And Yiftach, Vayilaktu Elam Anoshim Reikim. He's hanging out with the wrong group. What yeshiva did Yiftach go to? They wouldn't let him into the yeshiva. That's what he says to them. Now, he says, now you need me. Where were you before when I wanted to come? And the Gemara says, Yiftach b'dorah k'shmor b'dorah. Yiftach in his generation, he's the leader. You need him. So this view of succession and of leadership is one of the great lessons in Jewish life. And oftentimes it's misinterpreted, or it's discounted, or it's not appreciated. So how do we overcome that? So that's why Yelech Moshe. Moshe accompanies us all the way. He introduces to every generation its leader. Its leaders, its generations, whatever it is. And they're not always necessarily the people that we would think would be the leaders of Klal Yisrael. Rabbi Shluchim Lamokom, the Rabbanu Shalom does things, Kaviochel, in his way. We think we're participants, we're really only spectators. But this should give us confidence. That's why it says, "V'zo sabrocha sheberach Moshe ish Elohim." This is the bracha that Moshe gave us. Is that after Moshe, there's also the Jewish people. And after Moshe, there's still the Torah. After Moshe, everything's going to happen yet. So on one hand, lo kombi Yisrael kamo shod. On the other hand, it's not meant to be the religion of Moshe. It's meant to survive all of that. So that, I think, is an overview of these last three parshas of the Torah. It's Moshe's legacy. He tells us the good and the not so good, the easy and the difficult. But he always points to the fact that you're going to be here at the end. And you have to somehow struggle with that. And therefore that becomes our task, not only on Shabbos Shuvah, but throughout the year and throughout all of our lives. So I want to wish you all a Gemar Chatima Tova and a good year. And in Mitzvah Hashem, we should hear good news. Next Friday for Hazinu, we will also have a Parsha class. And then we have a vacation over Sukkot. Be well, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Succession.
I don't.
Succession.
Oh.